But you know what? Quite often what's in your heart, your mind has a hard time comprehending. But one of the things that I knew at the point of Bill's death was actually, I believed I went halfway to heaven with him because it took God that long to rip our hearts apart. And one of the things that I know beyond a shadow of a doubt is that there is a heaven, because I saw a piece of it that day. And God was so good to me to give me that gift, because it was through that gift that allowed me and gave me the courage and the hope to continue on. See, Bill and I got married when I was 17. I met him and fell in love when I was 13. I was a 52-year-old widow, and I never lived alone before in my life. So for the first time in my life, I'm all alone. Gee whiz, I get to make all my choices and decisions and do what I want to do. But boy, that was a hard transition if you have never done it in your life. We had 3 grown children, 9 grandchildren, a thriving business. But all the choices and decisions I had to make in my life all revolved around people. I never really got to pick anything for me. I never even picked up my own car before in my life. It's like, oh, I didn't really like having to make some of these choices. But you know, over the next 2 years, I went through the motions. I became the president of the company. Whew. You know what? People look at you differently when you're a leader. And people kept saying to me, oh, Colleen, you're so strong, you're so strong. And I'm like, oh God, I'm weak. I just want to be weak today. I don't want to be strong today. But you know what? People put you on a pedestal. And on that pedestal, you wear a mask all the time. And I was feeling, most of the time, I'm crying inside, or I'm questioning myself. Am I making the right decision? Am I making the right choice? What will I do? All these things. But you know what? You wear that mask. The confidence, the competence. And really, I was confident and competent. But I didn't feel that way. Only because I lost my centering. You see, everything in my life had revolved around Bill all those years, and now, see, I thought my whole future had died with Bill. How am I going to create a new future? I'm kind of starting late, 52 years old. See, Bill and I were gearing up in our business to retire and hand over the business to our oldest son, so that we could do more traveling. We'd been married 34 years and traveled to 34 countries. And we wanted to do more full-time missionary work. We had done some traveling with NGOs and wanted to continue doing that. But you see, when he died, I thought my call to mission was gone. I never thought as a single woman I'd be able to travel again. Like travel alone, especially to the places we had gone to and done the things that we did. See, I didn't believe that I could do that. So everybody kept saying to me, oh, you know what, you should stay home with your grandchildren and enjoy life and blah, blah, blah. But you know what, there was more inside me that needed to get out. But everybody wants to keep you there in that comfort zone. And I was miserable in that comfort zone. But I kept listening to all of the talk. So one day I went to a conference, and it was a missions conference, and I found out about a trip to Africa. Bill and I always talked about going to Africa. We raised a lot of money and sent to various projects, but we never made it. And boy, when I heard about this trip, I knew before I left the booth that day I was going, but I didn't tell anybody for several months. But I ended up going on an epic trip to Africa. I was the only woman with 9 men. We drove 6,000 miles through 5 countries in 32 days. And what we did is we fundraised, we bought 3 Land Rovers, had them shipped into Mombasa, Kenya on the Indian Ocean. Then we flew them there and picked them up. And we drove them and visited all the sites of the NGO, all the schools and the clinics, and I saw the good, the bad, and the ugly. I can tell you a lot of horrific things, and a lot of incredible things too. Whew. But by the time we got to Zambia, we donated 1 to the work in Zambia and 2 in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The purpose of the trip was to go, we called it the Umoja journey. Umoja is a Swahili word that means to build unity. And that was the purpose. Us as a group of Canadians, we were from Canada, United States, and England. That was our purpose, was to go and build unity and harmony with the people that do the hard work on the ground every day in and day out, that were there the emoji needed to happen with the meeting. And what I was on, that I didn't know when I left home, I was on a journey to find it. I was on a journey to find the real Colleen because I'd lost my identity. I was no longer Bill's wife or, you know, like all these things. But it was going through those times when I would question why I'm here, why am I seeing this, what am I supposed to do about this? I always had the answers, and I knew deep in my heart, I just couldn't see it. But one day we were on a safari and we were in the Serengeti National Park and we came along. Ooh, you smell it long before you see it, and that's a hippo pool. In the hippo pool, they wallow in their own mess all day. That's why it stinks. Because they stay in and they huddle together for protection from the sun and the heat. So as the guide is telling us all about the habits of hippos, I really identify my life with them. They're stuck together in this little place. Nobody wants you to get out because they're afraid you'll get hurt or whatever. You know, everybody wants you to stay in your comfort zone. And I just thought, oh my goodness, my life is just like those hippos. I am stuck in the mud. Anyway, a couple of days later, we went into the hotel and I saw a picture of the hot air balloons. And I said, I am doing that. I want to go on a hot air balloon ride. So I signed up, and 2 days later at 4 a.m. there was a knock on the door and off we went. I was the only one of our team that wanted to go. Johnny came, but it was later on. Anyway, we get out into the field and they get us into this basket that's laying on its side. You get into a little cubicle. It's almost like you're an astronaut, you know, you crawl in on your side like you're about to take off into outer space. And as I'm laying there watching them shoot in the flames to heat up and to fill these balloons, I'm recalling my son who didn't want me to go. He said, like, Mom, I think you've lost your mind. And I'm looking and thinking, my God, Colleen, he's right, you've lost your mind. So as the balloon filled up and it lifted, and our guide, his name is Jason, who is my son's name, he told us, do not stand up until I tell you to, because we had all these safety rules. So I could feel this thing, first it uprighted, and you could feel it going up into the air. And then Jason said, you can rise up now. Little did I know that that was literally going to be a prophecy for my life. And as I stood up and looked out over the top of that basket of a hot air balloon, the sun was just starting to rise over the Serengeti. So here was this band of orange all around. And it was the most incredible thing that's ever happened to me in my life. It was so silent, so still. And we were just drifting along, and nothing was in my way. My sight was unencumbered, there was no sounds. All I could see was miles and miles right out to the horizon. One thing I saw that shocked me was hundreds of hippos. Wait a minute. Down below is that little hippo pool. Here were the safari vehicles just pulling up to it. They're exactly where I had been 2 days before, looking at what they thought was 20 hippos in a little pool. But little did I know at that time, and what they were seeing is that's a little bend in the river. It's a huge river, and it's a huge Serengeti plain. And there were thousands of hippos, not 20. So Jason started telling us habits of hippos, that they go out and they roam for 10 kilometers at night, and they get fed, and they're free. And as he's telling me about those hippos, I'm thinking like, oh my goodness, I can be like those hippos. I want to be one of them, not one of them. And as he's telling us all these habits, I felt like, you know, in a hot air balloon, they have the sandbags that you cut off, and then you go a little higher and you cut off the next one. I started getting rid of baggage. All the crap that I've been carrying around, you know, the stuff I'm thinking, all the crap. As a single woman, you can't do this. Blah, 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 you can't do that. Blah, 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 you can't do that. I started knocking all those off. And you know what? Before we hit the ground, I had a complete new vision for my life. It all came in that 2-hour hot air balloon ride. when I was able to change my perspective, you see. When I was on the ground looking at that hippo pool and smelling that stinking mess, they're in their comfort zone. They're in their familiar zone, but it wasn't comfortable. But when I got a whole new perspective on everything, my attitude changed with that altitude change. And it changed my life